Now I know this is a little bit backwards showing you the end of the video, but this is for people that don't watch the whole video. Here's a tip: before you put these on, save yourself some time later on and do these ones as tight as you can. Okay, do them up tight before you put them on. You can tighten them after, but it means you've got to use the 90-degree one to get onto here. It's just much easier if you tighten them up first, because they're not your adjustment. Here's your adjustment here. So do that first, and just remember to do tighten up the end ones here, like I'll mention later on in the video. Just going to install these double trim tabs on the back of the Spartan SR. We've always made these double trim tabs for the V1, but the extra set of holes didn't line up with the holes that you can't see, or the unused holes in those boats. When I designed these, what would that have been, around 2012, I didn't realize there was extra holes in the boat there. So we just designed them with those two holes there to line up perfectly. And at the time I didn't know that Traxxas were putting holes in there, so all you could do was just re-drill an extra hole and put a nut on the other side. You couldn't do the fourth hole in the V1 because it was right in line with one of the ribs in the boat. So you can't actually do that with an SR, like put an extra bolt in there with a nut on the inside, because of the float chamber here. Like this hole here, you'd never be able to get it in there. So I redesigned the bolt holes in these off of this exact boat by measuring these, and this should fit. So yours, or if it's never had the double ones put on there before, you're barely going to be able to see these holes. It's behind the big decal. Now, why would you want double trim tabs? Well, everyone knows these Spartans don't handle that well when they get to the top end of the speed range, and if you start modifying them, that's when the problems do start. Like you just can't get them to run right unless you have all the adjustability you can. With the double trim tabs, you can make, you know, the outside lower than the height, than the inside, or whatever you see here. The head is going to hit there, so what you need to do is back these off. I mean, none of this is hard. I shouldn't need to make a video about bolting things on, but everybody likes to see how things are done before they get the tools out. Get that out of there. Let's move that down. She's tight. Okay. Oh, I should point out, this has got nut screws in the bottom as well. Forget about those. They shouldn't even be there. When they drill these, they said it's easier just to drill the thing all the way through and put a one tap that goes all the way through, and because they've done two holes, they put two screws. You don't need to worry about the bottom ones. One screw is more than enough to hold this in. So now I've pulled that down, as you can see, I can get the head in. I actually forgot I had this boat back in January. A fella in Saudi Arabia pestered me for weeks about buying it after he'd seen the other mods on it and the YouTube videos. So we agreed on a price, and I gave him a really good price on it too. And boxed it up, put it on the website. Had to box it up to, you know, find the weight and stuff like that. Put it in his box. And then the guy never bought it off me, and it's just been sitting in the back of the warehouse for the last 4 or 5 months. And I totally forgot I had it until I was going through some stuff yesterday, and I thought, well, I might as well do a video on these double trim tabs. So these are the two holes that aren't normally used. Look at that. it's going straight in there. The reason I'm not running purple in this because this is an old kit from last year, from stuff we got anodized last year. All the new stuff that came in purple is like totally different color. Well, you can see the difference actually. The purple on this one is different to that. Yeah, so we try not to sell kits of a mixed up colors. Sometimes the shade is a little bit off, but when they're a lot off like this and this is, we don't sell them. We just you know, wait till we get another batch in that can match up. It's hard with purple. There's so many variants with the anodizing. All right, so that's why I've gone for black ones. I could have went black or silver, obviously. Okay, so there's my double trim tabs there. You'll find these actually do a lot, like this inner ones do a lot, because you think about it, when the boat's running on its V, the idea is for that, when it's running at full speed, the idea is for it to be just using that much of the hull. I mean, this much of the hull isn't sitting in the water. It's only just this bit here. So this ain't doing much at all, but you have them out there for when it rocks. If you want to try and get rid of that chine walk, if you can just picture it in your mind. If you pull this one down and the boat's running up here, it can only go so far down before it has to stop. Some people have found if you only just put one side down, more like one side more than the other down, what the theory seems to be is the boat will lean on that side and not rock at all. If you only have them down a little bit, they can go from one side to the other. But people are putting them down a long way so that only on one side, so it kind of leans straight. And with having the inside trim tab as well, it basically means you have to do less. This one's got to do less work than the inside one. It's trial and error. You'll never get a Spartan to run as good with single trim tabs as you would with double ones. Not especially once you start modifying them, put bigger props on them, put more powerful motors in them, stuff like that. You need as much adjustment on the back as you can. Now with these style of trim tab, there's a pin that goes through here. Make sure that the screw that holds the pin, you can put Loctite on it. It's a good idea to put Loctite, but if you don't have Loctite, you could use glue, or at the very minimum, just make sure with a 1.5mm hex that screw is tight in there before you put them on. It doesn't matter which side you actually tighten up, because you're pushing the pin into the other one. So I didn't check this one, but I can do it now. Or can I? No, I can't quite get in there. Can I get on this one? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that gets on there. See, that I could do it just a little bit there. I probably did, you know, just a fraction of a turn, but that's going to be much better now. Just remember, you've got you're just dealing with aluminium here, so you can't wrench it on. It's just got to be firm. So just double check that before you put them on. I suggest that don't do anything fancy the first time you put them on. Just make it level. Make the tip of the tab level with the bottom of the boat. If I had a longer, there we go. So what I'll do is I'll just set it like that, like I'll rest that on the boat there, and I'll set that like that. Okay, I'll just lock that down there, so that the front of the tab is actually, you know, higher, a little bit higher than the bottom of the boat, which means the back of the tab, when it's resting on the ruler, is angled down a little bit. So just for the first run, that's how I'm going to set it up. If it's wobbling around all over the place, I'll pull the outside one down. If the thing is running too wet, like by too wet I mean you'll see water spraying up from the front, and it'll be driving slow. It'll also be nosy, like you'll turn it a little bit and it'll want to turn a lot. That's too wet. That means you've got to lift them up, and that will reduce the drag. There's one more thing I wanted to tell you about these. Oh yes, that's right. The screws and the bolts and nuts that come with this are for universal fitment. So if you were building a boat from scratch, like a fiberglass boat, You know, a lot of people will buy these for that, so they need something to bolt them on. This is what we include. These are not for this. These bolts are too long for the Traxxas holes. All these need is just one on the outside, one on each outside. So the outside there and the other one here, that's all you need. Because I've got a selection of bolts, I've got some 12mm ones that I've put in the inside here. That's just me, just because I've got the bolts. So don't try putting these in unless you're going to cut them down first.